By the end of this course, the students will have knowledge of basic elements of religion, worldview of African traditional religion, characteristics and sources of information in African traditional religion, understanding the values and morals in African traditional religion, application of values and morals in development of Nigerian society. By way of introduction, man from existence has continued to search for meaning of his life, and that search led him to ask questions about various existential issues like the creation of the world, like the age of the world, like life, like death, hallucinations, visions. And these mysteries of life had led man to have that knowledge or assume that there is a being above him that is responsible for these mysteries of life. And in these mysteries of life, with that assumption that there is a being above man, man now come to believe in existence of that being, existence of a being beyond him. Then, from that assumption of the belief, man moves further to give that being the what it deserves. And that what gave rise to worship. Gave rise to worship. And man moved further to say that it's not enough for me to just believe, for me to worship, that there must be a legal relationship or things that will bind me legally with this being. And that was how laws, morals, commandments came to be. And therefore, the basic elements of religion or religion in the world are belief, worship, and laws. There is no religion in the world that doesn't have these elements. Elements of belief, element of worship, and the element of laws. A man from history, because he is a being that searches, now created pathways for himself. Some received the revelation from God or from beings to enter into religious experience. Our interest here in this topic is to understand the African understanding of their worldview, their religion, African understanding of how they relate with God, African understanding on how they will live with one another. And this understanding, or this notion, or this lifestyle, this concept, worldview, is now what we know as African traditional religion. African traditional religion. There are other concepts of religion. One, from the etymology of the word, you have relegando, meaning refattening or binding up. Relegendo, meaning to reread. Re-elegere, meaning re-election. In the concept of St. Augustine. Besides this conceptual clarification, our interest as African traditional religion must be defined, and Ekwunife defined African traditional religion as institutionalized belief and practices of indigenous religion of the Africans, which are rooted in the past, African religious culture transmitted to the present votaries by the successive African forebears. By this phobia, meaning those that have lived before us. Those that have lived before us. Those are the forebears. And this transmission came through oral tradition, which are myths, and folklores, songs and dances, liturgies, rituals, proverbs, petty sayings and names, sacred specialists and persons, sacred space and objects, and religious work of art. A religion which is slowly but constantly updated by each generation in the light of new experiences through the dialectical process of continuities and discontinuities. Now, from this definition, we can now glean, you can now make out some characteristics, basic characteristics of African traditional religion. And what are these basic characteristics? One, that African traditional religion has no historical founder. Other religions have their own founders. Like when you mention Christianity now, Jesus comes to mind, Jesus Christ comes to mind. When you mention Buddhism, Buddha comes to mind. When you mention Confucianism, Confucius comes to mind. When you mention Islam, Muhammad comes to mind. But when you mention African traditional religion, there is no historical founder. What a unique religion. Also, African traditional religion has no sacred writings. No sacred writings. What do I mean by that? Every other religion has books, sacred writings, like Bible, like Quran. But in India, you don't have such faith-based writings of that religion. African traditional religion has no organized hierarchical structure. African religion has no organized hierarchical structure because in India, there is no universal leader of that religion. Just like when you mention the Pope, what comes to mind is the head of Roman Catholic Church. When you mention Archbishop of Canterbury, the head of Anglican Church. When you mention Chief Imam, but in India, what comes to mind will be, when you mention Chief Imam, what comes to mind will be the religious leader of Islam. But in India, there is no universal or neither national or international figure that says, this is our leader, and from that leadership style, everything falls into place. India has no creedal forms. Creeds are social statements of faith, and because creeds are social statements of faith, India has no creedal forms, firstly because there is no historical founder, because every book of writings of every religion centers on the activities of the historical founder. But in India, no historical founder, no sacred writings, and therefore no social statement of faith. African traditional religion is a religion that is transmitted mainly through oral tradition. What are these oral traditions? Myths. Myths are for the foundational to beliefs. Every society, every society in Africa has its mythology. Every feast, every festival has stories that colors that belief system. So myths are they answer the philosophical questions of how things, why things came to be, why this festival came to be, why this community came to be, how it came to be, why this ritual came to be, how it came to be. So myths answer this question. We have many types of myths: creation myths, myths of we don't love God, so many myths, myths of coming of death, and what have you. Then we have folklores, songs and dances, liturgies, rituals, proverbs, petty sayings, and names. These are ways through which ATR as a religion is transmitted. Now, since this religion has no historical founder and what have you, how do we transmit those things? We've mentioned it before, but just for clarity's sake, let us run it down again. ATR is transmitted through myths and legends, proverbs, riddles, and wise sayings, meaning attached to names and places, songs and dances, pity sayings, religious work of art, crafts, symbols, emblems, shrines, and sacred places, rituals, ceremonies and festivals, beliefs and customs, and in fact, all aspects of life. This religion can be seen in all aspects of life, of the African life. However, it is unfortunate that Western scholars, those people that came earlier to study us, those earliest missionaries, labeled this religion in derogatory terms. Some persons that does not fully understand African traditional religion have used derogatory terms to label the religion. Such terms like superstition, magic, juju, ancestor worship, fetishism, paganism, heathenism, idolatry. And these labelings, they are wrong. They are not what this religion stands for. They are wrong. So African traditional religion is not superstitious, it's not magic, it's not juju, it's not ancestor worship. Though traces of some of these things may be found, but that is not what the religion is all about. Now, what are values and morals in African traditional religion? Values and morals are those acceptable things like truth, justice, love, right and wrong, conductions, good and evil, beauty, respect for people and property, keeping of promises and agreements, praises and blame, crime and punishment, the rights and responsibilities of both individual and community, character, integrity, and so on. Acceptable norms within the society, these are values. Now, these values help Africans to live with one another, to settle their differences, to maintain peace and harmony, to make use of their belongings, to have relationship with their total environment. There are differences in values and morals followed by different people of Africa, but many of them are similar. Many of them are similar. It contains these things we mentioned. There's no African society that truth is not upheld. There's no African society that plays with justice and what have you. So when you talk about values, what are family values? First, you need to understand that in African family system, that the family is more extended in nature than nuclear. And this means that the family members includes parents, grandparents, children, uncles, aunts, various relations, fathers and mothers' side, as well as departed ones in the family. All this is a member of the nuclear family in African system. The family system includes the living, the dead, and the yet unborn. And so, for Igbo understanding students, in African family system, you don't have names like uncle, you don't have names like cousins, you don't have names like niece, nephew, because everybody that is related to you is either nne or nna or one name or one nam, as the case may be. So let's look at these values within African family system. To maintain and regulate welfare of family members, to perform duties, obligations, rights, and privileges dictated by moral sense of the society, to respect and be humble in the presence of their parents, elders, and other members of the family. Parents also have a duty to educate, protect, clothe, discipline, and bring their children to be well behaved and integrate them more into the fabrics of the society. That by integration, through myths, through proverbs, through meanings attached to their names, and you now begin to integrate them. These stories, tell them about their existence. That's what the family do, to teach them the basic things of the society, the basic values within the society, that good is accepted while bad is abhorred. In community value and morals, it is more complex than the family system, because the community values and moral involves greater number of people within the society. And in community values and moral, the community strives to safeguard the welfare of the community. The community also tries to teach morals concerning the social, economic, religious, political, and every aspect of their life. In the community values and morals, wrong actions are frowned at, while good actions are honored. So that's what you find in community values and morals. Now, how do we apply these basic African traditional religious principles to the sustainable development of Nigeria? You will agree with me that the Nigerian situation has gone from bad to worse. In Nigerian situation, things are no longer moving in the way that they should go. The university just came back from strike. So many issues surrounding the elections, and the living standard of the common man continue to move from bad to worse. And so do we continue like this and meet the Nigerians of our dream? No. And that is why we need to apply some of these basic values and morals of ATR into the Nigerian society. First, truth. Our people will say in Igbo, "N'eziokwu bụ ndụ," that truth is life. And if truth is life, then in Nigerian society, truth seems to be given a backseat. People don't like to hear the truth. People don't tell the truth. People don't accept the truth. People don't uphold the truth. And that is why corruption everywhere, looting, bribery everywhere to kill the truth. But truth cannot be killed. And so if Nigeria as a society will grow, then the value and moral of truth or truthfulness will enter into the mainstream of the nation. It enter into the mainstream of the nation. Another one is justice. In our Nigerian society, our justice system at times seems to be criticized as not having the interests of the poor man at heart. At times in Nigeria, justice are denied. And part of African traditional religious values and morals is that everybody deserves to have just equal justice, equal right. And how do they do it? You cannot circumvent, you cannot try, as religious specialists within the African traditional religion, they cannot deny justice to whom justice is due, whether you are rich or you are poor. As far as justice, so as far as you meet the requirements of having justice, the requirement is to do the things that are right, and you have your needed justice. Another one is the keeping of promises and agreements. In Nigerian situation, we find out that promises are not kept. During the electioneering campaign, the politicians will come out and they will be telling you that if you vote for me, I will do this, I will do that, I will do this, I will do that. But when you eventually vote for them, they will not fulfill those promises. Rather, they will start enjoying themselves, marrying another wife, getting chieftaincy title, making investments in abroad and even in Nigeria, going for medical tourism. When they promise that they will give us good hospitals, good roads, and at times the citizens also, they don't keep their promises of being good citizens, to pay their taxes, to maintain law and order. The security operatives don't keep their promises. Then they maintain slogans, say police is your friend, bail is free, and yet when you go there, it is not what is said that is being done. So, but in African traditional religion, once you make promise, you are duty bound to keep it. And the same goes with agreements. We find out people selling a parcel of land to 2 parties, 3 parties, 4 parties, the same piece of land. People don't keep agreements. And it's also affecting the development in the nation. So part of the way to rise from our mess is that the politicians, the citizens, those in authority will keep their promises and maintain their agreements. Finally, respect for life and property. Respect for people and property. In African traditional religion, man means mando, the beauty of life. And if man is mando, he deserves respect. Every human being deserves respect. No wonder in English they say respect is reciprocal. And if everybody deserves respect, when you give people respect that is due to them and they return such respect, the society will grow. The road accidents will vanish. The strugglings, briberies and corruption will vanish, because people will play according to rules. And that's applied to people's properties. Now we have respect for people, we also have respect for properties. Don't move boundary marks. Don't encroach on another person's land, another person's property. Don't mutilate books in the library. Respect the university environment. That is how the society will grow. Respect traffic rules. Respect government properties. Respect your neighbor's properties. And so when we live like that, these are just few of what we can glean from African traditional religious principles, values and morals. In conclusion, we can now say that all these things we said may be in the Constitution, but then the Constitution seems not to be fully obeyed. And that is why we need to reinvent ways in which the Africans maintain their society, maintain law and order in the society. And that way is that good is honored, while bad, evil actions are discouraged. Good actions are honored. And if Nigeria will grow, and I believe it will grow, then we'll need to the path of honor, where the people will be respected, where the laws of the land will be respected, where honor will be given to whom honor is due, where corruption and bribery will be frowned at. And when we do that, we must rise and shine as a nation, regardless of what is holding us down at the moment. God bless you and keep you. Thank you for listening.